Hamilton from Audible Elegance of Cincinnati, Ohio. Please do subscribe to the channel. And we have a website, audibleelegance.com, where we sell new and used equipment on the online store. We're actually up in the process of upgrading that store, so watch out for some fun things there. We do work on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And occasionally I write a blog. I haven't done one in a while, but I'll get back to it sooner or later. I thought I'd talk about our experiences with audio research, as we were a dealer for some time. And I myself terminated the relationship, but it wasn't because of anything that audio research themselves did, like other stores. And I still maintain a wonderful relationship with an extremely important person in audio, Dave Gordon, who is still with audio research. And at one time, companies got into this kind of trap where the only way they could maintain their presence in a very prominent position in the marketplace was to constantly introduce new products, and faster than the automotive industry in some cases, which changes on an annual basis. And we were happy to sell audio research, but what began to happen was that we could not sell the demos off quick enough, and certainly at any sort of profitable means, in order to buy new models. And this continued on for about a year or so. And as struggled as we tried to keep up with it, we couldn't. Even using the proceeds of sales from other manufacturers to try to maintain the line. And one day a gentleman came in, I think from Louisville, to hear a particular current model audio research, and we didn't have it. And he wasn't happy for having made the trip only to be told, you're not going to hear it. And he left disappointed, and probably grumbly so. And honestly, he was right. And because we could not keep up with audio research models, I made the decision that it would be better if we did not dishonor audio research. And so we resigned the line. It was one of those cases where if we couldn't properly represent somebody, then we should not hold ourselves out to do so. And I think about this because now I see many shops that are, they look like a smorgasbord of all the product lines that they have. And I wonder about that in terms of, well, how many of those products can they actually play? Because many of the manufacturers have expanded their lines to 10, 15, 20 models. We're actually trying to consolidate and go deeper on the product lines that we have, which are not extensive. Now, since the time we left audio research, the company was acquired by the group. I don't know the exact company names and such, so pardon me on that. That also owned Macintosh. And at one point, the audio research products had risen so much in price that they were seriously considering, and we were actually approached for this, with a lower tier of audio research gear, which was priced more similarly to what we had been selling, and certainly more affordable by a broader range of audiences. And we were very seriously considering that when all of a sudden it went silent. And the following products from audio research suddenly became more and more and more expensive. And essentially there was a cause to that because there was a pricing similarity between Macintosh and Audio Research at a given moment, and the ownership wanted to make sure that Macintosh had a free run of the ground and did not want any interference. So Audio Research products began to go higher and higher and higher. And eventually Audio Research became its own company again, and Macintosh proceeded to go higher and higher and higher still. And so Audio Research is a fine company. I think their audio performance is quite good. But they've had their oddities in terms of how the product is distributed. And, you know, that's one of the things that affects where products end up being sold, is whether a dealer feels he can make a living at it or not. Audio Research had a great dealer in Cleveland. I like the guy. I've talked with him a number of times. Actually, quite sincere gentleman. But he got pushed out of the line because, again, a big, powerful firm that was notorious for, playing with prices, just pushed him out of the way. So sometimes when lines change with dealers, there are business decisions either by the company or by the dealer. In our case, it was we weren't representing the product properly, and that was it. I have absolutely zero ill will towards Audio Research, trust me. And occasionally, when they're at shows, I still show up and listen to the Audio Research product. I just wish that more of it was affordable to more people. So in that vein, that's basically why we went to Rogue, because we wanted to go back into solid audio performance with vacuum tube. And Sandy Gross of Golden Ear at that time, he endorsed Rogue Audio, said they were great people, and certainly Sandy was absolutely right. They're wonderful people to work with. The product is stellar. We're really happy with that relationship. So there we are. But Audio Research, is a good company, but we saw the world differently. Thank you.